Hi, it's Will from StormTheCastle.com, and this is part 2 of the Making the 300 diorama, the Battle of Thermopylae. And in this part, I'm going to show you how to create the actual shell for the terrain. And there's two different ways I'm going to do that, so you get a good idea of how they work and what you might want to do. The first thing I want to show you is a product called Plaster Cloth. This is made by a company called Woodland Scenics, and it's very similar to the type of material that's used to make casts, like when you break an arm or to break a leg. So it's cloth, it's very durable, and it's got plaster right in it. And it comes in long strips. You just cut it to any, it comes in very long strips. It comes in a roll, and it's a company Woodland Scenics. You just cut it to any size you want, and all you have to do is soak it in the water like this for a minute until it gets nice and activated, and you'll feel it. It'll start to give off some of the plaster. A little bit more there. You'll feel it start to get nice and pasty. Shake off your excess and put it right on your terrain, on your diorama like that. Now this stuff is really terrific. It works really well. That's going to adhere and make a nice seal. A little bit. Take another piece, soak it in there till it activates. Now see how this terrain is kind of rough to get all those different rough features? That's great. I'm really going to like that because this is all cliff. I'm going to paint that so it's, and add texture to it so it's very cliff-like. So you can see with plaster cloth, it wouldn't take too long to do the whole thing. And that's going to come out great. I can see it already. It looks good. And you buy it in rolls from a company called Woodland Scenics. Okay, this next technique I'm going to show you is to make in your terrain with using Hydrocal. It's lightweight Hydrocal. It comes in a big box, and it goes a long way. You can get a lot of terrain out of one box. So before you start, a couple of things. You might want to wear some gloves just to keep things reasonably clean. And make sure before you start that you cut yourself off plenty of strips of paper towels. Lots and lots of them. If you get the durable paper towels, would be even better. The ones with the little fibers in them that are really strong. The reason why you want to make sure you have lots of that ahead of time is because this Hydrocal dries pretty fast. You've only got like 5 minutes of working time once you add water to it. So you make a small batch. You do some, you put it on, clean up, make another batch if you need to, if your diorama is that big. So, here we go. The recommended is 1 1/4 cups of Hydrocal, half a cup of water. So I'm going to throw that water in there. I'm going to mix it up. And in a minute it'll be ready to go. Put the paper towel in there. Soak it up. Both sides. Clean it off. Nice. Put it right on your shell, just like this. Secure it down a little bit. Sponge it if you need to, just a little bit, but that's going to be great. As you're laying these strips in, have consideration for what you want your terrain to look like. And with a big diorama like this, make sure all your pieces always overlap each other. Don't leave spaces between them. If you have a piece here, put your next piece about halfway and then extend it. Okay, so now you get the basic idea. I will get back to you once this is completed and show you the completed project. Okay, I wanted you to take a look at the plaster frame here I got. It's the terrain shell is all done. It looks great. It's got some nice texture in the cliffs there. I ran a lot of the paper towels vertical so I could get some nice texture like that in the cliff. It looks really good. So that's the terrain shell, and it's done. Now what I'm going to do is, it's almost dry, but I'm going to let it dry overnight before we start painting it. So that'll be the next part of this tutorial. I'll do the painting and start laying in the terrain work, the textures and the bushes and the grass and all that kind of stuff. That'll be next. And you can see the wires I have there. That's for the lights I'm going to put in. The speaker in the back is great. And tomorrow, after it's dried, I may do a little bit more with the Hydrocal and add a little bit more paper towels, depending on how it looks. But that's part of the process, of adjusting it. So this is the end of part two of the how to make a 300 diorama.